Hey, Motorman here. And whenever I show a class video, I always get in the comment section people from Europe or really from all over the world, but mainly from Europe, who claim that the exercises they see in my video, that they do that as beginners, that they have to pass a course exactly like mine just to get a license to ride a 250 or 125. Well, it's been my experience, because I train a lot of people from Europe over the ages, and their skills are no better, no worse, but no better than American riders, despite the fact that they have to jump through so many hoops and do so much, and sometimes it takes years just to get a full motorcycle license. But anyway, I'm going to show you what a rider just came over from the Netherlands. He has a street glide in the Netherlands, and he rented a street glide here. So I'm going to show you his skill level versus some American riders who are in the same boat, but I see no difference whatsoever. And then after that, I'm going to show you, I'm going to do a little walk around in my house, because this is Tuesday, and tomorrow we're going to get a Category 3 hurricane coming through here. So I'm going to show you what the house looks like now, the area around my home, and then if I'm still alive, I'm going to show you what it looks like after the hurricane. We're hoping and praying for the best, but enjoy the video. So, okay, the reason I'm making this video is because, like I said in the comment section, I hear from a lot of European riders, and for whatever reason, a lot of people from the Netherlands that say, this is very easy to do because they have to do this just to get their license. Well, I don't believe that. I'm sure that there may be some exercises that are similar to this, but my Ride Like a Pro course is based on motor officer training. These are the same exercises you'll find that the motor officers take, except everything is pushed out to 24 feet rather than 18. And believe me, 24 feet is still a challenge for the vast majority of people. If you wanted it a little bit more difficult, for those riders, I just add an additional cone and tighten it up for them. So you can come to my course, and if right away I'll be able to tell if you're a skilled rider and you've practiced quite a bit. I can tighten this course up. There are two ways to go through the particular course. In this video, I'm only showing you the one way, the regular for average riders, and that's what we have here is average American riders and one from the Netherlands. So these riders, this one on the Pan America, he's practiced, and it shows here he's doing very good. The other rider rented my VTX and did quite well with it. I'd say average, maybe a little bit above average. Now my rider from the Netherlands, who actually rides a street glide at home, rented a street glide here. It looks like a Ultra, but actually it's just a street glide where they added a tour pack to it. But when I switched this around so that all the U-turns were to the right, which I always do, boy, he had some serious problems. So what I had to do was send him back through the previous exercise where he's making a lot of right and left-hand U-turns. And he did that a few times, came back through, and then made it through the intersection without a problem going to the right. Most riders have a more difficult time making right-hand turns than they do making left-hand turns. And I believe that's because, first of all, we drive on the right side of the road, so most of the time when we make a right-hand or make a U-turn, it's going to be a left-hand U-turn. But you should be just as good to both directions. And that's why I add this onto the intersection exercise, so the riders are going through it both ways. And if you're practicing at home and you go to a parking lot, yeah, do just as many right-hand U-turns as left-hand U-turns, and pretty soon you'll be just as good in both directions. So in Europe, where you have to jump through all these hoops and spend a ton of money, some places a couple of $3,000 just to get a motorcycle license, but of course they're putting you through that on a small bike. And there's a big difference between a 300-pound 250cc motorcycle and an 800-pound touring bike. Now with this exercise, the Snowman, we had 3 circles. It starts with 30 foot to the left, 26 foot to the right, and then 24 foot to the left. And a lot of riders, even ones who have practiced, if they haven't practiced this particular exercise, they do have a serious problems here, because so many cones are in a confined space. And if you don't turn your head and eyes quick enough, yeah, you're going to have a problem. So while they're going through this, I'm yelling, turn your head, look here, because those green tip cones are the ones you have to focus on, and you should actually ignore all the other cones. If you start looking at every cone that's in front of you, you're going to start knocking them over. And for the people who say, and I always see this in the comment section, oh, I don't ride around cones, I'm a road rider. Yeah, well, it's a good thing you don't ride around cones because if you've never tried it, you're going to be knocking them all over, because what this is all about is obstacle avoidance, knowing where to look and when to look there. And out on the street, when that car pulls out in front of you, if you use your instincts will tell you to keep staring at that thing you don't want to hit, and the more you look at it, the closer you're going to get to hitting it. It's as simple as that. We practice these things at low speeds because the worst that could happen is if you make a mistake, you tip the bike over. No big deal. Pick it up and you keep on going. Out on the street, yeah, if you don't know how to use your head and eyes and the car pulls out in front of you at 40 or 50 miles an hour and you've never practiced leaning, turning, and swerving, you're probably going to hit that car and you're going to have a serious accident, maybe even get killed. So that's why we teach this stuff at low speeds, and then we apply what we learn to high speeds. So here's my house before the storm. Now, we did have a hurricane come through last week in this area. We just got 70-mile-an-hour winds, lost some branches off the trees. None of the trees went down. That's my 3-car garage. I'm worried about these palm trees coming down. If they do, that's going to hit my bedroom. And we're at the top of a hill, so I'm not worried about any storm surge. We're 7 miles from the Gulf, so there's no way the storm surge is going to affect me. But I'm just worried about this. It's Category 3. That means 110-mile-an-hour winds for about, they say, 8 to 10 hours. So, yeah, this is the 2-car garage. I'm worried about that carport. I'll probably pull that truck alongside that concrete on the right there to get it away from the carport in case we have a problem there. And, of course, yeah, this big tree right here, if that comes down on my 2-car garage where my Challenger is parked, it's going to be a problem. I lost a few of these screens last week. I replaced them, stacked all the furniture up. And this is to get a good view of the pool. They have all these glass sliding doors, but I don't know how much wind they could take. I'm also worried about this shed, though it's anchored down. If that tips over, it's going to actually hit my office on the right there. And I'm worried about that fence. If that comes down, it's some flying debris. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. This is the before. I'll show you the after the hurricane. Oh, probably next week.